Hello, my very dear Aries. I'm starting with, this is for the week of September 1st, or whenever you hear this and it resonates, and it won't be for all Aries. The first thing that I hear as I'm starting to get ready to work with you is an old scene from Monty Python that I barely remember. I looked it up. Anne Elk. I have a theory, which is mine. I own it. It is my theory. And within this, there's lots of coughing and there's lots of hemming, and there's a very insecure way of presenting her information. So I'm looking at this and I'm going, yeah, okay, what's the point? Because we know Aries can be very outspoken. You are a fire sign. You can be very determined and very adamant in your choices and your decisions. But what I'm getting with this is that whoever I'm reading for in the collective, I feel as though you are trying to make your position known about something, or you want to make your position known about something. And there is a part of you that is concerned about, not just concerned about how you say it, but almost concerned about the fact that you won't be heard. There is, again, you're a fire sign, and fire signs can be very assertive, verging on aggressive sometimes in the way they communicate. But what I'm getting here is that this is an issue, this is something for whoever I'm reading for, where this is not about you being aggressive. This is not about you being too fiery in your presentation. In fact, it feels as though there's a certain kind of timidity in how you are approaching whatever it is you want to say. And the energy that I feel like I'm getting here is that you may be experiencing a sense of the idea that nobody's actually really listening to you. That whatever it is you have to say, whatever it is you want to say, is not going to be important enough for people. So it's for people to really respond to it in a way that you would like them to. It's almost as though you've gotten used to, thank you. It's as though you've gotten used to not being heard. Which doesn't mean to say you haven't tried to say it before, but it means that you feel as though you are not really being understood. And that within the context of this that I'm feeling now, this time, this period, this particular group of people that I'm reading for, it feels to me as though you have sometimes chosen to not try to make yourselves known. You have let things kind of slide by you as a way to get along and accommodate. And that now it's come to a point where there is something in you that is really wanting to speak up. There is the insecurity of how it will be perceived. There's the lack of sureness of how you can say it. And there's the awareness of the fact that you are concerned. You're stressed about how you're actually going to present this in a way to get the best possible response. But it's not like to try to control anything. It's to finally be heard. That's what it feels like to me. It's to finally be heard. If you've been aggressive in the past, sometimes it's because there's been frustration in terms of, number one, not knowing exactly what it was you wanted, but feeling this level of frustration. And number two, not being sure how it's going to be received, or feeling as though no matter what you said, whoever you were saying it to either couldn't figure it out or didn't want to figure it out and just continued on in their own way. Now, for those of you who've been working on this, to try to communicate in a way where you don't just sound angry or where you just don't go passive, what I feel you're being asked to do is to look at things from the past. There are two things. Grieve whatever you needed to grieve from the past. Look at what has been a disappointment. And so grief, there's a lot of, I'm going to stretch that out. Not just grieving, which is very deep and very profound. Something we usually associate with loss of a person. But it doesn't have to be loss of a person. It can be loss of an idea, loss of a dream. It can be having believed that something was going to work in a certain way and it hasn't. It could be that something worked as well as it could, but now you've changed and grown and it's not working as well as you would like, and you want it to be different, and you have to grieve the loss of that ideal, that situation, that potential. Sometimes it's grieving a dream that doesn't happen. But whatever it is, it feels to me like there is a part of you, for whoever I'm reading for, that has felt in some ways, even though you've been connected to people around you, that there are some times where you have felt like you're alone with a situation because there's a part of you that has not been really honored, respected, seen by the people around you. And sometimes that's created a kind of shell that you put around you, which for Aries, you don't want to do that because you can burn up in that shell yourself. You've got a lot of energy. You don't want to create a shell around you where you just keep regenerating all that energy back in on yourself, okay? So what you're being told here, my very dears, is notice what your choices are in your day. So from a really practical point of view, what you're being told is move into a state of compassion for yourselves. Please allow yourself to step back and say, okay, this is what I'm grateful for. This is what works. This is what I like. This is what I don't. What choices have I made that have brought me here? Now, if I allow myself to have compassion for myself, and I allow myself to say, what is stressing me and what can I drop? What is disappointing me and what can I look at there in order to change it, to choose differently? It might be choosing a new situation. It might be choosing a new job. It might be choosing a new attitude. But the point is, it's bringing you back to your own sense of power here. There's the first card that comes out is trying versus doing. And that went along very well with that sense of you standing at a podium going, I have a theory, and my theory is this, waiting for somebody to look at you. What they're saying here now is, as soon as you start trying something, you're no longer trying, you're doing. That's what the card is about. So when I get this card and I ask Spirit, what does this mean for Aries? What it means is, when you feel as though you've come to the edge of something, what you are being shown is where you have outgrown your place in this particular situation, state of mind, attitude, relationship. Not because it means you have to rush through and break something down. What they're saying is, it's about coming to the edge and realizing that as soon as you come to the edge and you see the edge, you've already started doing something about it, because it took courage and self-awareness to even get to that edge. It's already started. It's already in process. So this idea of you standing there going, this is my theory, and not being sure how you're going to do it, stay in a state of gratitude, what they're saying is. And the reason they're saying state of gratitude and compassion is because those are two really, really high frequencies. By allowing yourself to look with compassion at what you would like and staying in a state of gratitude for what you have, gratitude for knowing that you can attract more, gratitude for knowing that you want something different, gratitude for the self-awareness that you've got here. That energy is going to keep you moving towards what you want. And it's not going to be a matter of you necessarily having to stand up on a platform and call everybody's attention. It's going to be something that's going to allow you to bring it out in a way that is a lot less stressful, a lot more organic to whatever the situation is, and allow you to be able to clarify for yourself, what is it you need? What is it you feel you're lacking? Is it being seen by somebody? Is it being respected by somebody? Is it not having the tools that you need to complete the dream that you want to complete? Or even maybe your dream is just to live comfortably in a financial situation. Look at where the stressors are hanging on you. Take a look at that. Who are they linked to? What is it linked to? And where can you move towards resolution in that? What kind of choices can you make that are going to allow you to shift this in your favor? You don't have to be shy about speaking your truth. And of course, I'm saying this, and whenever I talk about speaking one's truth, we have to be aware of the fact that if there's any situation where anybody could potentially be in danger by doing that, the first step is make sure you're protecting yourself. But what you're really, really being shown here is the struggle, the sense of effort in life, the stress in life. Look at what those things are. Struggle is not something that you need to have in your life. Struggle is an attitude. Struggle is, what are you saying? Continuing to work in struggle is an acceptance of a belief that there is not enough, or that you don't deserve enough, and that you're being asked to look at what some of those reasons might be, that you're continuing on in situations where that belief is perpetuating this kind of stress in your life and this kind of lack in yourself. Okay? So Aries, I just want to add one thing when I talk about this. This actually is really powerful and empowering, because what it's really saying, I think at a bottom line here, is as you are learning more and more completely how to listen to yourself and expect more and want more, and tempering that with the ability to actually acknowledge that with self-awareness, like really acknowledge it with self-awareness. That's the cat again. And to not feel like you have to fight for it and go into struggle for it. The more that this really allows you to expand into a higher consciousness and a loving higher consciousness. So for those of you who are in this kind of a situation, I really would just like you to hold it and embrace it within the structure of, this is about you loving you. This is about you trusting the fact that as you go into gratitude and as you move into compassion, to just understand the situation so many times, that alone is what takes you out of a sense of struggle, out of a sense of loss. You can find things in situations like this. There's a continuum of life, and that within the context of making changes and structure and asking for more of what you want and learning how to speak it, that's a big part of what life is about in terms of how we manifest our reality. So this is actually a big step up for you. And kudos to that. Take care, Aries.